What up, YouTube family? Hide your kids, hide your wives, because David just got charged with first-degree murder. That is right, first-degree murder. This shit is crazy, man. If you guys have been following the David case, it is probably one of the most interesting and one of the darkest cases that I have seen in a very, very long time. And as someone who is a total law and crime YouTube channel nerd, that's saying something. For those of you guys who aren't acquainted with the whole David case, David is a semi-famous musical artist, we'll say. He's been featured in a couple different TV shows, as far as soundtracks. I think maybe even video games as well, too. I believe he may have started off as a streamer, but the way that he really blew up was from his single, Romantic Homicide. Yes, that is real. We've talked about it. Every YouTube channel has talked about it. He started out as some random kid. He makes his song Romantic Homicide. It connects with people on such a deep level that it blows him up. And then he's now arrested for homicide. A couple months ago, they found a dead body in his car, in the trunk of his car. And it turned out to be the body of Celeste Rivas Hernandez. What made this thing even worse, if you can believe that this can get worse, what made it even worse is that when they found this person's body and they identified it, they found out that this person, when they passed, was only about 13 to 14 years old. What makes it even worse from there, I know, still going, is that they also started to find out that David was someone who had some sort of connection with this girl. Let's just say that. For a little while, it did seem like the allegations as far as their relationship was denied for quite a bit. But after just mountains and mountains of people commenting on this stuff, putting up different videos of these people's interaction, it's very clear to see that these two were very, very close for a very long time, which for David, who's clearly an adult, is not good.
I media trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
It's been a good one.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes.
Seriously, guys, if you have kids, I'm sure you're not new to this subject, right? But you do have to stay vigilant. I think a lot of us think that because the internet isn't outside, right, and we can see our kids right there, that they must be safe. But you have to realize that the internet is the new playground. Not only was David involved with Celeste, but he had been involved with her for quite some time, and it all stems from his Discord. Messages on Discord ultimately led to them meeting up, and them meeting up ultimately led to her unfortunate demise. And this is truly a shame, not just because a young girl was victimized, that is the biggest problem of this whole entire situation, but also because David was doing really well in the music industry and has now thrown away his entire life, which, let's be honest, even by PDF standards, is probably a stupid idea. Like, I'm sure there's tons of PDFs watching this whole thing go down, and they're like, whoa, wait, you were a guy like that, you did this? I'm just a plumber, you know what I mean? David really was growing into his own as an artist. He was on top of the world. He was becoming the man that a lot of people thought he could be as far as a musician. So to see himself cut himself down off of something so vile and disgusting, obviously Celeste needs justice, but also it shows how stupid and incredibly disgusting people can be even when they have good things going for them. Of course, now that David is in custody, his lawyers have been saying that they are going to prove that David has had no involvement with this situation whatsoever. And if I'm being honest, although I think it is pretty convincing that he does have some sort of connection to this, it does raise a red flag that he was called in so much longer after this situation first happened. If the evidence was so blatant, you would think that they would just have him come in for questioning very, very early. And even when they first questioned him, they questioned him maybe like a month or two after they discovered this person's remains. Now, the only thing I know about criminology is first 48, but that seems a little late for me. Keep in mind, that does not mean that I think this person is innocent, okay?
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby! Don't you put that on us!
I'm just saying that a lot of times when they have clear-cut evidence, they move a little bit swifter. So because they didn't move so swiftly, that suggests that maybe the evidence they have isn't so concrete. And if David has a good enough lawyer, he might be able to get out of this. About a month or two ago, David's friend was also arrested in connection with this whole situation. And I haven't really heard much about that, but that could be one of the reasons why they think they finally have David dead to rights on this whole situation. And that might be why it took them so long to arrest him. So we'll see. And honestly, if his friend is one of the people who testifies in this murder case, or he is somebody who eventually snitches to get a lower plea deal, we could see David do a lot of prison time. I mean, he is in California, and because of how heinous the entire situation is, he does have a possibility of being put on death row. So this is serious. This is incredibly serious. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think David is guilty? Do you think he's innocent? Do you think he did it alone or with a bunch of other people in some sort of conspiracy? This whole entire thing is not only disgusting, but it's just super creepy and weird, and once again highlights the darkness of Hollywood and just the entertainment industry in general. That's not to say that regular people don't do this stuff all the time. They definitely do, but they don't have as much access and as much power to being able to do this stuff on such a constant basis, and something needs to be done. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and also do not forget to protect your kids, because in this life, you're the only one they have. I'll see you later. Peace.